Ooh. Welcome, welcome. If you are here, you are divinely led, and you are entering the middle of my little Reiki session for myself to feel comfortable with going live. So, here we are. This instrument here I use to open up my throat chakra. And it really helps me. Hi, if you haven't met me before, if you're new to my channel, my name is Rochelle, and I am a poet, a healer, musician, and a whole bunch of things, I guess. But why do we need titles? I guess to give people a sense of who we are, I suppose. But anyway, what's the point? You're going to figure out who I am by watching, anyways. I'm going to officially start us off with this little. I'm going to start by reading a little something that I wrote a few nights ago at a poetry open mic. Oh, lonely, wandering soul, lost out in the void. Are you hoping to fall into the arms of love? Is it an embrace that you really need? Or do you crave comfort, connection with yourself that feels like home? Alone, lonely, solitude, what do these things feel? How do these things feel? Or do you never spend time alone? By choice? Are you afraid to sit with yourself? Why? What do you think you'll find? Is that already too much of a trigger? I'm here to make you open up. See your truth for what it is. Your darkest thoughts just need acknowledgement. It will cause you less pain once revealed. Because a lot of us sit in this fear of being alone, in this void of I can't be alone with these thoughts because they're too much. And then meditation doesn't work because there's a thinking that you have to just not think, and you have to just be there with these thoughts showing up, and then you're like, how can I just not think? My head is spinning. Well, what I did learn is that you just need to be aware of your thoughts, see what's passing through. What are the things that are coming up? And in my personal experience as a writer, I like to take those things and write them down. Or better yet, don't even have to be sitting there in a meditation mode, but we can be just arriving at the page with a pen and just start writing. Just start, and it can be the most gibberish thing, is the first thing that shows up. And then the more you write, the more the truth comes out and reveals itself. You work out all those things in your mind. So it's not just quieting down and meditating and not thinking, but actually it's allowing yourself to think. Maybe it's opening up a different portal in your minds that you're not fully thinking, but you're being. You're just letting those thoughts through. And that's what I personally do. In terms of like a mediumship, I communicate with my spirit guides with the pen. I ask them, take my pen, and they do, and then they reveal themselves. And I wish I had a page in my journal right in front of me that would demonstrate that, but I don't, and I'm not gonna sit here and sift through that. But the messages that I have received are just beautiful because I get to experience, thoughts that aren't exactly my own, and I know that it's coming from her or him. Peacock Eyes, Mandela Mirrors, and Jesse McPhee. These are my guides, and they are definitely divinely with me. I'm not sure entirely what I came here for today, but I know I wanted to read poetry, and that's what's going to happen. I'm going to start with something from my first book, and it's called Mantra. Let it flow, let it be, let it come. I'll do what I can do, I can only move forward. It is always an expression of myself. Let the divine light shine through me. Resist my fear, the path is clear. Make them shatter with love. Let the light be balanced by darkness. Hold a cup of tea and surrender to the void. Know that laughter is my greatest strength. Every question you ask. How far are you willing to travel? How many times are you willing to give up? The void calls for action, and no matter your reaction, we will find who we really must be. Look me in the eyes and tell me you're not real. Tell me that you believe what they say. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Fuck that. How hard is it to breathe above water when they want to drown your thoughts? Pull through, make it clear, try to find the answers. Self love is the wisdom of truth. Phantoms are the cure of fears and broken hearts. Be defiant, be in love, let them lead the way. Your demons want to meet you. Say hello. Ask them why they are what they are, what they are. What are they? In the blackness of despair, there is no savior, no hero for the damned. Just say that you're stronger, believe it or not. Either way, you will march on. March on, march on, march on. March on, march on, march on. March on, march on, march on. And for any of my emos out there, this is this one was inspired by The Used in My Chemical Romance. And I am curious that if anybody is watching this and can say that they heard that in this piece. But I know that I was listening to The Used when I was writing this one. I think I was just feeling into the vibes. And I mean, and this is about 5 years ago now, so I wish I could tell you exactly what I was listening to, but when um, Bird and the Worm was a huge, piece influence in my life. It's just kinda it really stuck with me, this, like, image of this guy who just couldn't really save himself. He wears his heart safety pin to his backpack. His backpack is all that he knows. Shot down by strangers whose glances can cripple the heart and devour the soul. Oh, that image really burned into my mind, especially years later when I was at a concert and, a lot of the description of, guy crawling around, literally, this guy had a backpack on him, and this other guy started fighting him in the mosh pit and had him down in a total headlock, and I was down there fighting to get this guy up, and it was really crazy moment, and then I actually came out of it having panic attacks, and then now the song "Bird and the Worm" that I actually liked for a long time was like, "Oh, I can't listen to that, that is too real." Have you ever I don't know, if other people do this in their lives, but I have, I think, manifested certain situations and feelings, events in my life from the music that I listen to. I don't know if I just, like, stick so closely to a favorite song and then it manifests my reality so I can experience it in a certain way, but it's definitely not one I would have wanted, but am I curious about the depth of the human experience that did end up existing there? Yeah. I'll be honest, yeah. And then there's different love songs. Well, I mean, what's better than, I'm sorry, I'm not used to going live and everything's backwards for me. I wanna, like, sit up straight, and then when I think I'm going more straight, I'm tilting. Okay. That's that's a good metaphor for my love life. I'm straight. Am I straight? I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. No, I know I'm bisexual, yeah. Something's really come into question, though. Mhm. I as I was saying, love songs, manifesting love songs, yeah, we definitely wanna manifest love songs. That's kind of the most beautiful thing. I haven't, I mean, yeah, there's ton of beautiful love songs in my life, but are they all manifesting? Usually in darker ways. My favorite band is Alisana, and they wrote the Annabelle trilogy, and I'll be honest, there's some really interesting things in that story that are going beyond or uh, traveling through the Tesseract. So there's time travel, there's um, feelings of like going into different dimensions, being in different dimensions, how a loved one is somewhere out there and not here. Oh, well, and then I end up falling in love with a dead man. Woohoo, hooray. And somehow those songs now resonate on a very deeper, intimate level. Just, I mean, lovely because it's my favorite band and I can make those songs work for me. But of course, we all have our own ways of interpretation and making things work for us. Because, of course, I can write a poem and it is reflecting a state of mind, a state of being to my soul. And then to somebody else, oh man, it will mean something totally different. Let's see. I ran a grief poetry workshop last week, and it's the idea of it is processing our emotions through, well, journaling and as well as writing poetry to remember somebody who has passed on through the art of poetry. So, writing something beautiful to remember them while those feelings are resonating. And then because grief does go in cycles, and if you're feeling any stage of grief and whatever the feelings are, you have something to remember them by, simply put. So anyway, I wrote something or a few pieces during that journey. Then I went to an open mic that happens once a month in my town, and I read some of them. And somebody else commented on my pieces and said it really reminds me of all the oh no, I was about to say D&D, not D&D, NDE, near death experience, videos that I watch. And so how you are traveling into a different dimensional space than what we are normally experiencing. And there's a whole event, an experience, and reflection of life that happens there. And you're almost tempted to stay in the afterlife because it turns out to be a very beautiful space. Um, And so anyway, he related what I wrote to that, and I'm like, "That's cool." Not quite what I actually wrote about, but, it's cool. I'm actually gonna read a couple of pieces and maybe let's see if that resonates for you, you know? Um, "My ancestors hold me in their ethereal palms, energies expanding past ourselves, beyond our memories, outside perceivable time, space, planets, dimensions, solar systems. They are love, energetically, so I believe. Every human on earth is connected to this truth." Breathe in, feel surrender, allow yourself to fall. Be the version of you, the greatest receiver, radio dial tuned in. In this reality, you will hold truth, many more lives to tell. Peer into imagination where you'll see innate, raw energy. The void is a home to comfort your heart, sacred place of dark. There's peace when you close your eyes and sing. Mm. It's a new piece for me, and I really would like to actually have a tune and a song to come after at the end of that line, maybe sing that line. I don't really know, but I did the closing my eyes and sing part, so we're on track, right? Where's this other one? I do like this one. Oh, this one's called You Are Light, and it is particularly about my dear Jessie. But after I wrote it, I realized, it has a lot more of a universal feel to it. So, I don't know, you tell me, let's give it a read. You are light. When I think of light, I see you, shining soul. Your smile a rare gemstone refracting off 1,000 diamonds. Tender heart, wounds of life are washed away. The rising soul gives a wave, the body a fraction lighter. Return to the source of all. Is that closer than we think? Somehow your glow still resonates. Spirit, is what they say. Yes, I'm willing to agree. Ethereal seeing air, the power of human imagination. Lets me see you smile back at me. Oh, and I do see the smile. I do. I don't know why I end up touching my back while I was reading that. And, we could call it a nervous fidget. We could call it something. Something's pulling me to touch my back and stroke it. I am right now. Maybe it's spirit doing that, telling me, good job. You're loved. Hmm. And this one I wrote on the summer solstice because I pulled a card from this deck. I can't remember the name of the deck. It was my friend's, but I also can't remember what I was asking it for, but maybe just the message that I needed. So I guess the message that I needed was a card that said silence, and it was completely black on the longest day of the year. There's no design, and all the other cards had designs on them. This one's completely black. I'm like, I dig it. I believe that's for me. Now let's read about it. Read about it, sat, meditated, and here's what I got. Tune into the silence, allow the words to flow. Mindfully, I accept the darkness where source is not seen. I, the poet born to be. See shapes and stars behind my eyes. Connect the dots, see what patterns arise. For in this darkness, deep accountability is not found. Fading light, crown of jewels, shimmer in this void. Purity, in the nothingness. I see the truth. All that I've ever known returns to the source. Body rematerializes in its truest form, not what I make it, but what it really is. The beauty of non existence, temporal, sacred, real. And I did mention something about the Tesseract, and that's relevant because that piece was interesting because as I was writing it, I found myself returning to the sense of home. This home that is the void where my soul, I think, exists, where I find wholeness and I find my own reality. Um, I don't know if that's really the right description for it, but have you ever looked deep within and or arrived many times at the same place? There is this place of darkness, but a beautiful darkness, like how the poem reads in this darkness deep. Um, Purity in the nothingness, I see the truth, all that I've ever known, return to the source. So in that darkness, in that void is this like womb. That's I think what I'm looking for is to say the womb, this cocoon, this place where you go in and you can curl up and just be, and you don't need to do anything, you don't need to perform, you don't need anything. And then when you're ready, there is this light, there's this calling to tell you to reemerge. And that's when, as it goes on, body rematerializes in its truest form. So once you go in deep and feel into that, then you come out and You are truly you. And now, what I wanted to say, looping back to the Tesseract idea, is that I um, I wrote a couple poems about that journey. Now, this is the beginning, around the beginning of my first book, and then it wraps up at the end of the third book. This is a trilogy. It means a lot of things with the whole books. But anyway, of course, we don't have time for a 3-hour video on all this. I'm gonna read this though. A journey into the Tesseract. Is this me? Am I really there? Inside the Tesseract, I see myself across the walls. Memory's not mine. I don't remember that happening, but I think I would do that. She sounds like me. She talks like me. I don't know her. How do I know what's real when everything I see is an illusion of who I am? Close my eyes, see eternity. Every move I make leads me closer. Stop being afraid of who I can be. Brace myself for what's next. Know my heart. Reach for my darkest self, and I will come out as pure light. See an asteroid belt rush past my eyes, feel myself blown out of its circuit like a gust of wind, thrown across the starlit galaxy, stop and gain control. Feel every nerve as it pinches and aches, fingertips exploding, toes riding, eyes straining. It's not safe here. Heart heaving, hips twisting, and suddenly, perfectly still, body gone. I am the void. If I see a memory that is not my own, it still becomes a memory. I can't unsee and unlearn it, so now it is a part of me. I can make the choice to go without thinking about it, but I don't get the choice to remove the effect that it has on me. I become a part of it, and it becomes a part of me. Phew. Exiting the Tesseract. Is this me? Am I really there? Inside the Tesseract, I see myself across the walls. Memory's not my own, but I think I would do that. Crash. Have I been here before? That looks like me back then. If time is eternal, then I am peering into the present, the past preserved in a mind bending tunnel. Nothing is ever erased. I might now carry the key, an access point I'll now try to reach. No, reaching makes it slip away. Hold on, listen, emptiness has a voice. No escaping the cycle, I'll just make it spin longer. Chaos has total control. After and before follow each other, that is the path to infinity. If I follow it backwards, I'll reverse my way back to the beginning of the journey. Forgetting makes me stronger. Remembering made me worry. For some time, I went worrying about what got lost in the void. The void gave me strength to grow new memories, infuse the forgotten, then transform. If fate allowed me to walk away, it also let me craft a new world. Cherish, yet do not keep the past. It is held by not myself, but the great conscious beyond. I let go completely, live in this void. Almost too soon, my eyes open again, body rematerializes. Inside the Tesseract, I see myself across the walls, more memories of my own. Projections of the past have now become real. All of who I have been, forgetting who I used to be, knowing I preserved her. But will I ever understand who she is, Rochelle's true self? Once the memories become new, will the old ones stay the same? Of course they do. I've seen it. Preserved in an interdimensional prism, only I feel changed. Goosebumps surface on my arms, an eerie feeling of being alive. From now on, I will not question the truth of the fabric of time. Chaos. Chaos of Tao. Chaos is source, is emptiness, is the void, is the Tao, is purity, is nothingness, is silence, is retreat, is all and nothing at once. Thank you for watching, and thank you for spending time with me.